He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Friday evening, a Halloween evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us, sending you into a big football weekend. Of course, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party tomorrow, 3:30, between Florida and Georgia. Florida State back on the field tomorrow night against Wake Forest and the Jaguars. On Sunday, out in Las Vegas, taking on the Raiders. And what a drastic turn the thoughts about this franchise and in this city took earlier today with the news that Travis Hunter suffered a non-contact knee injury in practice yesterday. He has been placed at least on the short-term IR for now. That means a minimum of 4 games. If there is any silver lining at all, and trust me, guys, I've been looking for it for the last couple of hours. If there is any at all, Adam Schefter, ESPN, said that initial tests say that Travis Hunter's ACL is intact. I also saw Ryan O'Halloran of the Florida Times-Union back that up, saying there does not appear, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't have the exact tweet from Ryan, but it says there does not appear initially to be damage to the ACL. Now, we still don't know. Meniscus, MCL, we don't have clarity on that. But if the ACL is good, I guess you can go to sleep tonight thinking, well, as bad as it is, it could have been considerably worse. Will we see Travis Hunter again this year? I don't know. I know we're not going to see him at least for the next 4 games. Also, by the way, Eric Murray, the safety for the Jaguars, went on IR with a neck issue from the game in London. So there's a lot to get into. The coach, Mark Duffner, is going to join me. 50 years of coaching experience. He has certainly been through his fair share of gut punches like this. We're going to talk to the coach, Mark Duffner, about this. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts will join us as well. And we will go out to Las Vegas. My guy when it comes to the Raiders is Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He is the beat writer for the Raiders, and we will talk to Adam about the Raiders side of things, including Jakobi Meyers, a wide receiver out there in Vegas that has been rumored to be on the trade block now. And if you're James Gladstone, what do? Do you call Vegas about Jakobi Meyers? Do you call New Orleans about Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed? Do you call the New York Giants about Wan'Dale Robinson? Do you maybe even call Miami and see what Jalen Waddle's status is? You probably do something, right? A gut punch, man. And that is where we will begin tonight. Also, we'll give our predictions on this evening or on this weekend's football contest. Again, Mark Duffner joins me in less than 15 minutes. Every night on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, so Liam Cohen earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center was asked, well, actually wasn't even asked. He basically just came to the podium, and this was his opening statement about Travis Hunter's situation.
Injured during practice on Thursday. He will be placed on IR here shortly. We'll miss at least 4 games. We're currently assessing the injury just to determine the best course of action. moving forward for Travis and for the team.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, what else can you do? And Liam Cohen finished that statement up by talking about, this being a minor setback, but looking positively into the future.
Feel bad for the guy, for the kid, for our team, for everything. But, he's in good spirits right now, and minor setback for a major comeback. That's just the way it's got to be.
And keep in mind, Liam Cohen talked to the media 10:30 this morning. He probably had known about this for about 12 hours. It happened yesterday afternoon. I saw Travis Hunter in the Jaguar locker room Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, 48 hours ago and change. And he was fine. And then he goes out there apparently yesterday, reportedly as a defensive back in a drill, and it was a non-contact injury. What else can you really say if you're a Jaguar fan? If you're if you cover the Jaguars, this had Dante Fowler vibes to me from May of 2015. Now you say, oh, there's, Dante Fowler. Well, at the time, Dante Fowler was a top 5 pick out of the University of Florida. And I will never forget, we were at the Players. That's back when the Players was in May. And word came out that in rookie minicamp, just weeks after getting drafted, Fowler went down with a knee injury, and you could just hear the air come out of the balloon of this Jaguar fan base. I had similar vibes today, at least for a few hours. Isn't it interesting, too? And I remember talking about this the week of the Kansas City game. When the Jaguars beat the Chiefs to go to 4-1, all was right with the world, right? It was great. That was 25 days ago. Well, that's got 2018 vibes, does it not? Remember when the Jaguars beat the Patriots? Keelan Cole makes that one-handed catch. Jaguars start that year 3-1. And then the roof came tumbling down soon thereafter. We're borderline in that crisis right now. Liam Cohen talks about responding to adversity. Well, brother, outside of Trevor Lawrence getting hurt, this is probably the most adversity you're going to have in 2025. You want to see how your team responds to adversity? You want to see if they can get up off the mat? We're going to find out pretty quick. We're going to find out in less than 48 hours. Because you want to talk about the ultimate gut punch, the ultimate just shot with Travis Hunter's news today. And now you have a gigantic football game on the road in Las Vegas Sunday at 4 o'clock. You wanted to see how your team responds? You want to see how your team can take a punch and keep moving forward? Well, then you get your wish and then some. All right, Brian Thomas Jr., you've struggled the beginning stages of this year, no doubt. You need to find what you had last year, and you need to find it really quick. All right, De'Ami Brown, you're on a 1-year prove-it deal, right? 1 year. Because you wanted to get paid in the offseason in 2026. Well, you need to start proving it right now. All right, Parker Washington. All you want is a chance, right? That's all you want. It's an opportunity. Well, you just got your opportunity. Because that's what you got at wide receiver now. You got Brian Thomas Jr., you got De'Ami Brown, you got Parker Washington. They activated Austin Trammell. I mean, come on. Tim Jones, Tim Patrick, although he's hurt as well. I think you're probably going to see another wide receiver brought in here via trade. I would be stunned if they didn't bring another wide receiver in here via trade next week. But it has not been a good year for the Jaguar wide receivers. They have dropped footballs. They have not looked good. Quite frankly, they've looked bad, and the blame has gone all over the place. That needs to stop now. Your mulligans are over if you're Brian Thomas Jr., De'Ami Brown, and Parker Washington. You better get your head in the game, and you better come to play in Las Vegas, Nevada on Sunday. And if you do, the Jaguars have a great chance to win. But I've said all week, I didn't like this game from the get-go. If you guys have listened to me all week, my message hasn't changed. I don't like this setup. Vegas coming off a bye. Vegas getting Brock Bowers back. Vegas basically in a must-win themselves at 2-5. I've hated this game all week. And now you get the Travis Hunter news today. Ugh. I've picked Las Vegas to win the game the entire week. I'm going to continue to pick Las Vegas to win. I mean, how on earth would I change my mind after thinking Vegas was going to win all week long, and all of a sudden the Travis Hunter injury news, I'm thinking they're going to rally around the team? Come on. We don't live in Hollywood. Can they win? Yeah. Do I expect them to win? No. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders 27, the Jacksonville Jaguars 20. And I hope I'm wrong. And I'll be with you on the fifth quarter, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Raiders go final. Myself, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, and the coach Gerald Ingram. And we will have a lot to discuss. We got a lot to discuss until 10 o'clock tonight. We will get into Florida, Georgia. We will get into some more of the matchups surrounding the Las Vegas-Jacksonville game. But we got to start with the Travis Hunter news. A Gordon Solie, for you old school wrestling fans, shot to the solar plexus. For Jaguar fans earlier today, the coach Mark Duffner, 50 years coaching experience. He's been through a lot of these situations in his tenure. Let's talk to the coach about the injury, about what's going on in the Jaguar locker room, about the game plan on Sunday. Game plan was already in. They've had to completely change it, right, without Travis Hunter. Let's go coaching one-on-one. We're surrounding the Travis Hunter situation with the coach Mark Duffner. That's next. Friday night, Jacksonville, Florida. We're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Offense puts people in seats. Points put teams in the playoffs. Who will be this week's Offensive Player of the Game on 1010XL? Nailed down by Universal Roofing Contracting.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296. Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429. Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Keep your ball out of the rough with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Get great golf tips from the experts every Saturday morning at 10. The Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Raiders, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. But a drastic turn of events for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as it was announced earlier today by Liam Cohen that Travis Hunter, a non-contact injury to the knee in practice yesterday, he's going to be put on IR for a minimum of 4 games. I'm no body language expert, but watching Liam Cohen talk today, I might be surprised if we see Travis Hunter again this season. Just brutal, man. Let's talk to a coach that's certainly been through his fair share of these over 50 years in football, both collegiately and in the National Football League. My pal Mark Duffner, always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing, bud?
Well, Hacker, I'm doing okay. You know, the news, as I saw it today, like you, I was thinking it was a trick for Halloween. You know, I just couldn't believe it actually when I saw that. But you know, these things happen. Unfortunately, it sounds like it happened in a non-contact event or move, and you know, I'm praying that because of that, perhaps the seriousness of the injury isn't as bad as you think or we think. But you know, this happens, and this team's going to have to rally up, and as everybody likes to say, next man up. But I mean, it's going to give. Darn it, you know, the disappointing thing, we were so looking forward to Travis's, you know, input into the offense. He was going to be featured more, it looked like, and geez, every time he has had an opportunity to make a play on offense, they've been on the pretty strong, spectacular side. So, but it means other men are up, other people are going to get opportunities. Everybody's going to have to pitch in, and I think it's going to provide another positive emphasis for this team to win.
We know he's out a minimum of 4 games. And, Coach, look, we'll get to what this means for the Jaguars in a moment. But you know what the narrative is going to be nationally. It's going to be, I told you so. Wide receiver, defensive back. Was there too much on this kid too fast? And that's something, look, the Jaguars are going to have to answer. Those questions are coming.
Well, and bring them on as far as I'm concerned. I mean, heck, I think they had a very excellent plan in terms of what they were going to try to utilize this young man's contribution to the team, how it was going to go. And, you know, it certainly was shifting towards the offense more and more as of recent situation. I guess this happened yesterday when he was playing defense or preparing on defense, but bring it on. I mean, what the heck? They took a bold stance, made a bold move. A lot of people haven't done it, and we've seen some very positive progress in the application of the duality of his play. I think was going to go, like we said earlier, just more towards the offense. But these things happen. Bring it on. I'm for one very proud of the fact that Jacksonville's active and aggressive in what they're trying to do with the whole part of the program. So let's take it. Let's bring it on and let's move forward.
The coach Mark Duffner with us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, from a fan base point of view, and that's who we're talking to tonight, obviously, the air was let out of the balloon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's devastating for the fan base. Which again,
right.
In the locker room, it's one thing, and we'll get that perspective in a moment, but I'm sure you can appreciate what the fans are thinking right now.
Well, yeah, shoot, everybody's been, on the edge of their seat right now for this guy to be even more involved in the offense and to provide what I believe were numerous explosive type plays and also numerous headaches for the opponent's defense based on his application on offense. So I get all that. I for one, couldn't wait to see this guy continue to be a factor there. But the reality is right now it happened. And as I said, I wish it was a Halloween trick instead of a reality, but we're going to have to face it now. And we're going to have to put all of our focus on what every guy on this team and every coach in this team can do to put forth their best to beat the Raiders. That's for sure.
The NFL calendar doesn't stop. The Raiders game is going to be played on Sunday despite this news. And put your coaching hat on. You certainly have been through these situations a lot over the years. What is the message Liam Cohen's going to give his team today?
Well, I think just that. I think he's going to, tell them that, look, it's next man up, and that we've got everybody's got to dig deep and be team firsters right now in terms of what their contribution is going to be to the team. And that means every phase of it right now. Defense, you're going to have to continue to do your jobs just a little bit more. And that's what it is. I mean, we're all in this to do the very best that we possibly can. I think he's going to challenge them to put their focus on that and also maybe even give a little bit more in Travis's behalf in terms of, again, supporting him with your play, supporting his rehab and his recovery with the quality of your play. So I think that it's a we mentality going forward right now. Everybody buckle up, but let's do everything we can to contribute to victory against the Raiders.
The coach Mark Duffner with us here on Hacker After Dark. Let's look at this from the wide receiver position and then the defensive back position. All right, Brian Thomas Jr., it's time for you to become the guy you were last year. Dyami Brown's on a 1-year prove-it deal. Obviously, this means more for Parker Washington. Tim Patrick is in the mix. We will see what they will do as far as, moving up Tim Jones or an Austin Trammell. And I think, Coach, honestly, if they win on Sunday, it would not surprise me if you call New Orleans to check on the availability of a Chris Olave. If you call, Las Vegas, even though they're playing them on Sunday, to check on the availability of a Jacoby Myers. I mean, what's your thought on the wide receiver position moving forward?
Well, I think I ditto everything you just said. I mean, Brian's got to step up, Parker. I mean, everybody, Dyami. I mean, this is time. And really, I think that the bye came at a very appropriate time to get everybody in that mindset, to get in their physical bodies back as best they possibly can. It came right dead in kind of the middle when you include preseason. And then I think that so everybody, like I said, all these guys have an opportunity right now to really take a major step forward in terms of production for the offense at all those spots. And then I think I agree with you. I really have liked the leadership that Gladstone and Tony have put forth in terms of the whole organization, the whole makeup of the team. And so they're very active at always trying to get better. And I think that what you just said in terms of possible moves to aid that receiver position as we move forward are there. Now, if I'm one of the players, I'm saying, hell with that. I'm going to show, it for me, I'm using two words, look out, look out, meaning here, it's my time. It's, here I come. So I think that there's going to be a lot of, I think, interesting and I hope very productive dynamics moving forward based on this.
From the defensive back point of view, Greg Newsome, it's time for you. I mean, obviously he was traded for, played 3 days after getting acquired against Seattle. Then he goes to London, right? He didn't exactly have time to settle in, but now he's had 2 weeks. Newsome has to step up. Obviously, you know what you got with Jordan Lewis. Jarian Jones will probably be more in the mix again. Monteric Brown, maybe even Braswell. I mean, what is your thought on the DB position minus Hunter?
Same thing. I think, to be honest, I think it's impacted Hacker a little less than maybe the receiver, just based on where I was feeling that the contributions of Travis were going to be. I think he was going to be clearly majoring on offense. That's just one man's opinion going in, so that the DBs were going to be operating, with him in a more limited role, I think, moving forward, at least for this game anyway. And so it just reemphasizes the opportunity and frankly the responsibility of all these guys to play at their very best, to contribute at their very best. I personally really like the play of Monteric Brown the last few weeks, and he's been playing, I think, very confidently and aggressively in terms of his play. And I've always liked Jordan Lewis. I look for him to continue to that. But Jarian Jones, who you mentioned, I'd love to see him get in the mix with more aggressive, productive play. And then, like you said, the opportunity that Greg Newsome's been given here is second to none. So, like you said, it's time for him to jump into that opportunity. And I mean that actively. That's why I use the word jump into it actively and be productive.
Final moments with the coach, Mark Duffner. All right. Look, the Raiders out in Las Vegas. I mean, this is a gigantic game, right? The issue going on here with the injury aside, there's a Grand Canyon's worth of difference since they're going out to Vegas. A Grand Canyon's worth of difference between 5-3 and between 4-4. Coach, the injury to Travis Hunter did take place on Thursday afternoon. Most of the game plan was already in. What can the coaching staff do in the next 48 hours to change things?
Well, I doubt there's that much, change going on right now. The game plan, when this occurred, frankly, they were in the finishing touches of the game plan. Today would have been more of a, situational day, goal line, short yardage, backed up, those type of things in terms of actual situations. But I think the game plan is in place. I don't know that there will be noticeable change as far as that's concerned. Maybe if, and maybe in a good way, maybe reduce a couple of things in the plan because of the fact that the reps may have gone to Travis or to other people in certain situations. So they'll have to take a look at that. But I don't think it's a major factor in terms of what their game plan thoughts were. And by the way, they've had a little bit of time, just like the Raiders have had to prepare this game plan. Now, the open date or the bye has provided them a chance for critical review of everything that they're doing schematically, evaluation of players, et cetera. But it's also given them time in terms of, how they're going to look at the game plan in terms of offense, defense, and special teams for the Raiders. So I think that's going to have a small or limited effect on moving forward with that.
The coach, Mark Duffner, Jaguars Raiders on Sunday. Of course, you'll hear it right here, 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coach, thank you so much for joining me on short notice. Really appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend, bud.
You too, Hacker. Let's beat the Raiders and be 5-3.
And that is certainly the goal. Thank you to Mark Duffner for joining us here on Hacker After Dark. It's interesting how quickly things can change. The gut punch in this city when the news came out about Travis Hunter was all over the place. I mean, my mother texted me and my wife, not exactly diehard football fans. My buddies in a group text. It's were cursed. Figures. It's just a bad day, right? You bring up all those awful memories of awful things that have transpired to this franchise and the suffering from a fan perspective that many of you have done with this franchise over and over and over. And just 3.5 weeks ago, the Jaguars are 4-1. They knock off Mahomes and the Chiefs, and you're thinking, all right, we're back, man. We got something. And then you lose to Seattle, and you get blown out at Wembley Stadium. And now you lose Travis Hunter. 3 gut punches over the last 3 weeks. This team needs a win, man. They need a win. I told you in the first segment, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't think they're going to get one on Sunday, and I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be glad that I'm wrong. But if this team and this fan base ever just needed a football game victory, it would be Sunday between the Jaguars and the Raiders. What about the Las Vegas Raiders? Brock Bowers is healthy again? Is Pete Carroll already on the hot seat? And what about Jacoby Myers, the wide receiver out there? What is his availability heading into Tuesday's trade deadline? My guy out in Las Vegas is Adam Hill. He's the Raider beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He joins us next on a Friday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. It's Hacker After Dark.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey, Hicken here. Cooler weather right around the corner, but you can extend your swim season with Surfside Pools. This month, Surfside Pools offering 10% off new pool heaters or heater replacements and installation. Keep the good times rolling, no matter the season. Upgrade your pool heating system now for months of extra enjoyment. Only from Surfside Pools, the trusted name for expert pool service. Family owned and operated. Call 246-2666 or visit surfsidepools.net.
License number CPC 044080.
Hey, Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving? Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside has Ram 1500s to heavy-duty 2500s, ProMasters, and custom uplifts ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville trusts. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Raiders and the Jaguars, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio. Both teams coming off a bye week. Both teams probably disappointed, at least the way the first 7 games ended. Certainly the Jaguars are. The Raiders really never did find their footing. But what did the bye week do to both teams? Well, we'll probably find out a little bit about that on Sunday afternoon. Our guy out in Las Vegas is Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and Adam's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Adam, how you doing, man?
I'm good, refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to go after the bye.
Yeah, look, I mean, 2-5 for the Raiders, a couple of losses that quite frankly had to sting a little bit, and then a couple of blowouts as well. I mean, what is the thought on the Raiders 7 weeks into the year?
Huge disappointment, I would say, for a lot of people. This is, I took a lot of heat in the offseason because I said I just don't understand what their plan is. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're making some huge mistakes. And, fans were furious at me because there was a lot of optimism. Pete Carroll coming in, everything that he's done, and Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers in year 2, and Geno Smith, a legitimate starting quarterback, and, all these pieces. And people were very excited. There was definitely a thought that this was going to be a competitive team, not a Super Bowl contender, but a team that could contend for a wild card spot, maybe win 8-9 games and sneak in. That's what the thought was. And I just never saw it. I never understood the plan, really. I thought, the ceiling was kind of 8 wins, and they'd be kind of lucky to get there. And that's how it's playing out. It's just, Geno Smith seems like there was a reason Seattle kind of let him go. Pete Carroll, maybe a reason that he wasn't in coaching anymore. And, at 74 years old, the oldest coach in NFL history. And, Brock Bowers has had some injuries, and nobody can block for Ashton Genty. And all of these, plans that were laid out just aren't working out. And now what they have is a team that doesn't really know what it is. I mean, they should be rebuilding, but they've got, pretty old players at every position. I mean, this week when, you're looking around and like, hey, we have a chance to bring in a wide receiver to help the offense. Let's go get Tyler Lockett. Like, why? What is the plan for this team? And I think that's kind of the questions people are asking right now.
Oh, look, I mean, it's 7 weeks in, so we don't want to jump to any conclusions, but you mentioned Pete Carroll. Are people still okay with him?
I don't think so. I mean, I think a lot of people are over it. I think a lot of people think they were sold a bill of goods, and I think it's totally unfair to Pete Carroll. But he did help set up the expectations, right? I mean, we asked all offseason, about a rebuild and, being a couple years away, and his response was, I win 10 games every year. That's what I do. And, going back to USC over the last 2 decades, he does average 10 wins a season. Like, there's no question about it. But that was never what this team was. So he helped set up these unreasonable expectations. So he should be kind of blamed for that. But this was never a team that was going to be really good. So I don't know what people expected, but to be fair, him and the rest of the organization kind of led fans down the wrong path. I think they should have sold it a different way. I think they should have gotten some younger players instead of finding old veteran players to fill in at spots. You're acting like you were a contender by bringing in guys like, Elandon Roberts and Jamal Adams and, guys that could help you right out. Devin White, who's been fantastic, but these are guys that, you use to fill in championship rosters, not that you use to try to rebuild a franchise. And it's kind of a weird spot right now. So yes, people are sick of it. They don't like the losing. They think think that, Pete Carroll was supposed to be something that he's not. And it's just been a weird season. But yeah, people are furious. And every week you get lit up with the, is he getting fired question, which I don't think he is. And I don't think there's any real chance of that. But the questions are definitely coming now.
Jaguars Raiders Sunday 4 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Our guy out in Las Vegas is Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Similar question with Geno Smith. He comes in this offseason. A lot of expectations on Geno, and he just simply hasn't looked like that guy Seattle had.
No, he certainly is not. And, he's learning a new system. It's Chip Kelly's system, which is totally different than what he was doing. And that is an adjustment for sure. But there's been easy throws that he's just missed and way too many interceptions, way too many mistakes, not enough big plays. It's not like he's taking chances down the field. He's trying to be conservative and he's still throwing interceptions. So it's been bad. There's no question about it. The red zone struggles have continued as well. They're just not even in the red zone enough to make that matter. There's a lot of issues with Geno Smith right now, and I think people are questioning if he's the guy. The benefit that he has, I guess, is that there is no real quarterback of the future, right? I mean, if there was a young quarterback that everybody thought like, oh, this is going to be the guy, they would have turned to him by now, but they don't. They've got Kenny Pickett, who, nice, stopgap, I guess, as a backup if you need him, but he's not the quarterback of the future. And Aiden O'Connell has been hurt. He's finally coming back right now. I don't think anybody thinks he's the quarterback of the future either. So there's not like an answer behind him, or else they would have already gone to that. That's the benefit, I guess, that Geno has right now.
The silver lining, at least from the outside looking in, Adam, is the best game the Raiders played week 1 was when Brock Bowers was healthy, when they beat the Patriots. Now Bowers comes back from the bye, presumably as healthy as he's been all year. How much will that help the Raiders on Sunday?
I think a lot. It certainly is a game-changing type player, a guy that can do so many different things, that can draw the attention of the defense to open up more things. But I also don't think, I don't think it's fair to look at him as like some guy that's going to completely save the offense. I think he makes them significantly better, but they've got a lot of issues. They still have trouble blocking. Geno Smith is still making too many mistakes. Like, those things probably are going to continue. But certainly having a weapon like Brock Bowers changes a lot for the offense. You saw that week 1, as you mentioned, until he got hurt, which he went down in the third quarter. He was putting up big numbers again. Obviously, the numbers are down. He played through it the next couple weeks. For those that aren't following the Raiders along, you might say, well, he was playing. Sure, he was playing, but he was playing about half speed. They finally shut him down the last few weeks before the bye. Supposedly, from what he says, he has said fully healthy, ready to go, no limitations. We'll see. But, yes, he makes them better. He can't save them.
We did a lot of talk about Ashton Jeanty here in Jacksonville leading up to the draft, and then the Jaguars did what they did and traded up and took Travis Hunter. The Las Vegas Raiders ended up with Ashton Jeanty. How has the rookie looked to this point?
Fine. And I thought if Jacksonville stayed where they were, I thought they were going to take Ashton Jeanty. I didn't think that was going to be a possibility for the Raiders. So they got him. He looks fine. He looks, when he has room, he looks like a, really, really talented player, one of the best young running backs in the league, no question about it. We saw why he did what he did at Boise State. And again, people here in Vegas know all about that because Boise State, the other team at the top of the Mountain West, playing UNLV every year. So they got plenty, the fans here in Vegas got plenty of Ashton Jeanty the last few years. They knew how good he was. And you see glimpses of that for sure. There's just not enough because the offensive line hasn't been there, and they haven't been able to utilize him in the passing game like they really wanted to. All throughout training camp, all throughout OTAs, it was nothing but, Ashton Jeanty in the passing game, and that's how we thought they were really going to get him involved, and they just really haven't been able to do that yet. I think part of it is not trusting him fully in pass protection, so he's not always on the field on third downs, but they've got to get him more involved. They got to get him the ball more. They got to get him into space. As of about 2 weeks ago, and the numbers changed a little bit, but he had more yards after contact than he had total yards, which means he was on average getting hit in the backfield every single play and just turning something into it. So that's got to get fixed. That's got to change for sure. But when he has space, he looks great. It's just that's why you don't draft a running back, I think, in the top 10, because there's so many other things that have to go well for him to succeed.
Final moments, Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal. He's our guy when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. Trade deadline is the Tuesday after the Jaguars and the Raiders play. The Raiders have been, I guess there's been conversations about Jacoby Myers, even Max Crosby to an extent. I mean, is this kind of a last stand for some of these guys? Do you think the Raiders will be active at the trade deadline?
I don't think Max Crosby is really available. I think teams have called. I don't think they're trading him. But there are a couple guys. I think Malcolm Kuntz is a guy, defensive end who's on, a 1-year contract ever coming back from a knee injury. If somebody needs a pass rusher, he's probably available. Guys like that, if somebody wants to come in and offer them draft picks for some of the players that are in the last year of their contract, I think they're available. But the only potential big name really that I think is available and probably will be traded is Jacoby Myers. It just doesn't make sense for them to hold on to him if they can get any kind of they're talking day 2 pick right now. That's very possible. Maybe a 3rd rounder for Jacoby Myers. I think a contender would really, really do well to get him. He's a guy who not only is more than capable as a receiver at his first 1,000-yard season last year, but really, really good blocker, unbelievable teammate, great in the locker room. Literally does anything you could ask of a wide receiver. He's just not a prototypical wide receiver 1, but as a wide receiver 2, he's perfect for any contender. So if I was a contender and I needed a receiver, I'd certainly be interested in Jacoby Myers. He's going to make your team better and your locker room better.
Adam, I'm curious the thought on Jacksonville coming out there. I've said all week, I hate this game for the Jaguars. Geno Smith is good for about 2 or 3, Canton, Ohio, worthy performances per year. And I just have a sinking feeling that one of those is going to come Sunday against the Jaguars. Chip Kelly had time during the bye to draw some stuff up. And I'll be honest, I don't like the Jaguar chances on Sunday. What is the thought on them coming out there?
Yeah, I mean, Jaguars are a slight favorite in this game, and I think with good reason. I wouldn't be surprised at what you're saying, takes place, happens. Geno Smith puts it all together for 1 week, gives everybody hope again before they go into a really tough stretch of games and come crashing down. And, at this point, it's probably better for the Raiders to lose games, so they might as well go win one. That's kind of been the MO of this organization for the last couple of years. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders put it all together on Sunday, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they completely fall apart.
Adam, a lot of our audience not only is going out there for the Jaguars and the Raiders, but the Florida Gators are out there too, playing Arizona, which should be a really nice weekend out there in Las Vegas. College basketball season kind of taking center shape there on Monday with the defending national champions rolling in.
Yeah, well aware. I'm covering that too. So I'm excited for that. And BYU with the top prospect in the country coming in as a freshman. That's the second game in that doubleheader. There's a ton of Arizona fans here, so it'll be a good crowd at that game at T-Mobile on Monday. I'm looking forward to it a lot, but yeah, it's going to be a big weekend.
Adam, final question. With the NBA stuff last week, obviously the Chauncey Billups stuff and more so the Terry Rozier stuff, with you being out in Las Vegas, obviously every sports league seems like they want to put a team out there. What has the conversation been now that gambling has kind of taken center stage here in the sports world?
Yeah, it's interesting. This could probably be like a 2-hour conversation, so I'll try to limit it as much as possible here. But I'm the biggest advocate there is of legalized pro sports betting and college sports betting. I think the more it's legalized, the more it's regulated, the more it's caught. By the way, the reason that these things are caught now, they've been happening forever, and they always happened. But they're caught now because we understand the markets, and we see, when 35 bets are made within 10 minutes on Terry Rozier's under rebounds, and he comes out of a game, we catch it, right? That wouldn't have happened if it was unregulated. So I do like that. But I think one of the issues here is because it's spread so much, some of these micro betting markets, which are, the rebounds, the assists, that sort of thing, the first 3-pointer of the game type, those type of bets, some of the micro markets are a little bit tougher to monitor and to manage. And those are the things that have exploded now as this has proliferated around the country. I would definitely be as much of an advocate as I am for legalized wagering. I would certainly be open to the discussion of some of these smaller market things of, individual rebounds, assists, points, that sort of thing. Those are a little bit trickier to regulate. They're still better regulated than not, but those are the markets that I would look at and say, hey, maybe if we're going to look at something, probably that might be the best place to start in terms of curbing that back a little bit.
Well, it's a busy time of year, both on the field, on the court, and certainly off the field and off the court. Jaguars, Raiders, Sunday in Las Vegas, and then Florida Gator fans, you guys will begin your college basketball national championship defense there in Las Vegas Monday night, taking on the Arizona Wildcats. Adam Hill, the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Adam, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Sounds good. Anytime.
Setting the field on fire with electrifying plays.
What a play! What a play!
But in the end, there's always a play that stood out.
Did you have to go Sports Center on me, though?
Listen for the performance painting high-performance play of the game on 1010XL.
Why wait for a reason to send flowers? Celebrate life's little wins, or just celebrate you. Stop into the showroom on Beach and Southside, or online at JacksonvilleFlowerMarket.com. Jacksonville Flower Market. We make every day bloom.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season is finally here, and with that, hopefully comes cooler weather. And if you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Celebrating 30 years in Jax Beach. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn is your go-to for cash on the spot. They buy gold. Huge sale on firearms all month. Save during Florida's Second Amendment sales tax holiday with no sales tax on firearms. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Games, sporting events.
Sports never stop.
Football, baseball, basketball, what's that, huh?
And neither does the Sports Talk on 1010XL. I'm Lauren Brooks. Set your GPS for Lauren's Lane. 2 to 4 weekdays on Helmets and Heels. Driven by Mazda at the Avenues.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Leonard Skinner is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinner Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces.
Singing songs about Southland.
Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinner rocks for those who serve.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Approaching halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, Connor O'Gara of Saturday Down South. We'll talk a little Florida, Georgia. We'll certainly talk about the job openings at Florida, LSU, potentially Florida State down the line, Lane Kiffin's future, maybe Eli Drinkowitz. We're going to do a lot with Connor O'Gara of Saturday Down South. Coming up also in about 15 minutes or so, former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts, as we take a look and preview the Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders. You know, we talk about the coaching carousel in Denmark. I don't know if you saw this or not. So we know Curt Cignetti got paid in Indiana big time. Then we come to find out that Matt Rule got paid in Lincoln. And now within the last hour, Ross Dellinger is reporting that Rhett Lashley of SMU is finalizing a new 2-year extension. So these coaches got to be loving life, man. All of these guys that have been rumored to be hot candidates are all getting paid very, very nicely to stay at their current positions.
And Nebraska's, my goodness, Matt Rule, he got an extension a couple of days ago. They got him locked up through 2032, I think. So, yeah, you know, all these jobs are open. I wonder how many good candidates are out there because, you know, all these guys are getting extensions. If you want to grab them, you have to not only pay the guy you just fired, you have to pay the buyout for the coach that you want. You know, that's going to be, and then pay him on top of, you know, when he comes to your school. So it's going to be a lot of money, you know, with a lot of these coaches. I wonder if LSU, if they're going to, you know, what the governor said and, you know, reinvent the wheel and how these contracts are done. We'll see if they, you know, stay firm with that. But, you know, I don't know how many good candidates are out there, Hack, because, you know, you're not going to have, you know, a lot of these coaches. I don't think like a couple of years ago when Brian Kelly left Notre Dame or when you had Lincoln Riley leave Oklahoma. I don't think that's going to happen this cycle.
No, I don't either. And we'll see what happens. Again, you got some really good jobs open, though. We know about Penn State. We know about LSU. Obviously, we know about Florida. I think Arkansas potentially is a good job. They got a lot of money there. Virginia Tech is not a terrible job. You know, you could see Auburn come open. You could see Kentucky come open. You could see Florida State come open. And then keep in mind, right, once the carousel starts turning, well, if Lane Kiffin leaves, then Ole Miss is open, right? If Eli Drinkowitz leaves, then Missouri is open. So this is going to be a domino effect, no question about it. All right, getting to college games tomorrow, quickly to Florida State. Boy, no talk at all about this game with Wake Forest, and I get it. Florida State has lost 4 games in a row. The big talk surrounding Florida State is the future of Mike Norvell. Will he be there in 2026? I would think that's highly unlikely, at least the way it looks right now. But Denmark, it's a Wake Forest team going in there that's 5-2, that just came off beating SMU in what is considered to be an upset. We just talked about Rhett Lashley getting a contract extension at SMU. If Florida State's not careful, they're going to lose their 5th game in a row tomorrow night.
Guess what the spread is?
It's in Tallahassee, correct? I'll say Florida State by 3.
10.5
for the Noles.
Yes. My reaction was the same when I found that out about an hour ago.
Wow, I would probably be all over that if I was so inclined. I think Florida State wins the game. I don't know a ton about Wake other than they are 5-2 and their losses have not been bad losses. In fact, they've been close losses. So we'll see what happens. Do we know about Castellanos?
He said, Rick said he's probable.
I mean, the last time that was one of the more wicked shots you'll ever see. I know a lot of people didn't see it because it happened at about 1 a.m. when they were out playing Stanford on the West Coast. But that was a brutal hit that Castellanos took. We'll see if there's any effects from that moving forward. But yeah, I like Florida State to win. I would gladly take Wake Forest and 10.5. Vanderbilt, Texas, I guess is the big game in the SEC tomorrow. boy, if Vandy beats Texas, then you're now flirting with Vanderbilt going to the playoff. They would be 8-1 with a victory over Texas. Are they going to get it done tomorrow and beat the Longhorns in Austin?
I think Vanderbilt's going to win the game. If you want to know where Vandy is, SEC Nation is in Austin for this weekend. They're not at Florida, Georgia.
Crazy.
I mean, if that's not an indictment on how bad this Florida Georgia game has been, I'm a Gator fan. I'm an alum. I've been here my whole life. I cannot remember a time where there's been there's almost like no talk about this game tomorrow, Florida Georgia. And Vandy runs the SEC, so that should be a good one tomorrow. I think Vandy's going to win. Arch Manning didn't look good last week against against Kentucky. And Texas was able to score 24 points in the fourth quarter, and that included a punt return for a touchdown. Texas is not good, and I think Vanderbilt's just going to be the better team tomorrow.
We'll see. I mean, look, they have one loss on the year. It was their toughest road game to date at Alabama. They're obviously very, very good at home. Now, Vanderbilt did go into Virginia Tech and win, which is a tough place to play. They did go into South Carolina and win, but going into Austin would certainly be an accomplishment. So we'll see if they're able to pull that off. And then, look, the game here tomorrow, we're going to talk to Connor O'Gara about it from Saturday Down South. Denmark, I know you and I did a 30-minute podcast earlier, the Gator Bites podcast, where we really looked at this game. I don't know how in good conscience I can pick Florida to win. I will say that I do agree Florida probably has a better chance to win now that Billy Napier is not calling plays, as sad as that is to say. And I don't think Georgia's been anything great. I mean, Georgia's 6-1, right? They control their own destiny for the college football playoff. Could you argue they shouldn't be 6-1? Yeah, you probably could. But they win games close in the fourth quarter. Look at the Tennessee game, obviously the Auburn game, and the Ole Miss game. Georgia has found ways to win outside of Alabama those games in the fourth quarter. So I think this will be another one of those games. I think the game will be in doubt early in the fourth quarter. But I just think, Gunnar Stockton and Kirby Smart and that offensive line and that running attack will start bearing down on the Gator defense. And Georgia will make enough plays in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Yeah, the thing with Georgia, that's going to be in their favor tomorrow, is they don't turn the ball over. And Stockton does not throw interceptions. With Florida tomorrow, you have no idea what to expect because you got an interim coach. And they've, I know both Florida and Georgia both had a bye. But you have no idea what to expect for Florida. So that's the intriguing part for the game. And, 7.5 is still kind of head-scratching to me, not because of, Florida being the way they are, but with the injuries that Florida's had. Not having Vernell Brown, not having Mizell, having, a lot of true freshmen playing in your secondary does not bode well tomorrow. I think Georgia's going to handle the second half. It's probably be a close game at the half, but I think Georgia's going to pull away third, fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think Florida's going to play hard for Billy Gonzalez. I think they like Billy Gonzalez. And keep in mind, though, Florida does, the Aiden Mizell injury, the Vernell Brown injury. We talked about those earlier. Those are big-time injuries. I know you brought this up on Gator Bites. Trey Wilson, he does still play on the team. Dallas Wilson has come back to earth a little bit after his ridiculous performance against Texas. If you get stuff out of Dallas Wilson and Trey Wilson, and you got to give the ball to Jaden Ball 20 times, 20 to 25 times. I don't care what the combination of catching the ball out of the backfield and carrying it out of the backfield is. But Denmark, if Jaden Ball does not get his hands on the football a minimum of 20 times tomorrow, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Yeah, I would assume that's probably going to be in the cards tomorrow. And Billy Gonzalez was talking earlier this week in one of his pressers, and he said Trey Wilson will be part of the offense. It's almost like this guy has been incognito. Like you can't find him at all. All this dude does is just run, clear out routes, and you just see him just running a vert down the field just to, run, for somebody else to get the ball underneath or elsewhere. I would expect him to get at least 5 or 6 catches with all the injuries that you have. And, he was a really good player when he came to Florida. And since then, last year he had a couple of injuries before he played those, he played those first couple of games. He was really good and then he got injured. This year's been no factor. And I think he can be a factor if you put the ball in his hands and make him, get him in the right spots, I do think he'll have a factor tomorrow.
Again, Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, joins us at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's dive back into the Jaguars and the Raiders Sunday at 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. It is a Friday night, a Halloween night in Northeast Florida. In Jacksonville, we're happy you're spending it with us right here on Hacker After Dark.
The players leave it all on the field, and after it's over, the party gets started. Hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram bring you the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter, nailed down by Apex Roofing and Contracting and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, Prosser here, and right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. One call, life change. There's no wait, no hard credit pull. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 914-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Call 914-999-1508. See how much cash you can get today. You can also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey folks, this is Denny Thompson, and when it comes to protecting my home, I turn to Tyson, the leaders in state-of-the-art home security right here in Jacksonville. Their AI cameras and smart doorbells are top-notch, keeping an eye on what matters most. Whether you're moving in or upgrading, Tyson offers flexible packages, rent or own, with specials on the first 3 years. Ramp up now for the holidays, the perfect gift for you or someone you love. Call Tyson today at 590-7979 for details.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, it only costs for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 31st, 1987, a blockbuster NFL trade between 3 teams and 10 players included Eric Dickerson to the Indianapolis Colts.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Food that's good for you can taste good too. Flame Broiler has protein-packed bowls to fuel your day. Introducing their new chicken avocado salad bowl. Made with romaine lettuce, rice, cabbage salad, and topped with a delicious house sesame dressing. It's a bowl full of goodness. Eat in, take out, or catered. Flame Broiler is easy to enjoy. Come in Monday through Sunday for happy hour, 2 to 5 p.m. for a chicken mini bowl and drink for $6.95 plus tax. 5 area Flame Broilers to serve you.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville trusts. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Raiders, Sunday, 4 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Jacksonville 4-3 coming off the bye week. Las Vegas 2-5 also coming off the bye week as the second half of the season begins for both teams. Let's preview the game, but more so, let's talk about the Jaguars' 4-3 start and where they will go from here with a former Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver. My buddy Cecil Shorts, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Cecil, how we doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. How about you?
Cecil, we're good. Thank you for the time. All right, bye week in the rear view mirror. After a loss like they had against the Rams in London, they've had a bye week to stew on it. How excited do you think the Jaguars are to get back out on that field on Sunday?
Oh, man, they probably can't wait. Just knowing who you're about to play, the opportunities that it presents itself. And I think this is a good time for the bye week, just because you get a chance during the bye week to kind of reevaluate yourself, see where you are as offense, the defense, the special teams unit, where can you improve, and just kind of see what's the best way to go about moving forward on all sides of the ball. So they're excited to get back to it. I'm sure. But it's going to be a really good test, and I think it's a really good game to get back on track in Jacksonville.
You know, the interesting thing, Cecil, is it felt like the sky was falling after the Rams game. I mean, you lose like that, you go into a bye. And look, Jaguar fans here, as you well know, have football-related PTSD, right? I mean, here we go again. We've seen this song and dance from the Jaguars many times before. But you take a deep breath. You realize, all right, 4-3 is not a terrible place to be after 7 games. Your second half of the schedule, you got the Titans twice, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Jets. I mean, there is no doubt that everything for the Jaguars is clearly right in front of them.
Not only do you have a favorable schedule, I think when you look at the offense, defense, special teams, there's still a lot left to learn. Like, it's still learning each other, right? So if you look at a 4-3 record, you're like, you know what? We're not in a bad position right now, and we're only going to get better from here. Because Liam Cohen is still learning the guys. They're still learning a new system. It's just so much that can be better, and you're already off to a decent start, second in division in the AFC South right now. So it's, to me, I think it's just all positives right now, honestly. Just looking forward and seeing what's coming. You mentioned you got the Titans twice. You got different teams that are ready for, not to tank it in, but you're better than I would say on paper. But you got to go out there and still prove it and go out there and still do it. But you should be right in the contention of that AFC South if you go out there and fight and find your identity on offense.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts with us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Cecil, Trevor Lawrence has not been great, I don't think, certainly. I wouldn't necessarily call him bad. Your thoughts on Trevor 7 weeks in, and what's your expectation for him the second half of the year?
I think he's been okay. I think a better run game, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, will help him a lot, right? I think they need to find an identity on offense. What do they want to do? Also think the drop passes are hurting him as well. So, I'm not all out on Trevor, but I think there's a lot of variables around him that have not been where they needed to be to help him be the best he could be, if that makes sense. So if you can tighten up that run game, I know the last couple of weeks he's been sacked a lot. He's been hit a good amount of times. But I'm not out on Trevor. I think Trevor can finish these 9, 10 games left in a very good light if those variables around him can help him out.
You mentioned the drop passes. I mean, you played wide receiver in the NFL for 7 years. You're the perfect person to ask. Can that be corrected in a bye week? I mean, is there techniques that need to go get worked on, or is it just simply just concentrate and catch the darn football?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, you know what I mean? People only get better by catching the ball, right? But there's nothing special you do over the bye week. There's nothing special you do to catch the ball. Just you have to catch it. And then BTJ and the other guys that have had some drops in that receiving room, they know what to do. It's just about concentrating and not worrying about the hit that's coming or the run after the catch, or whatever the case may be. You know what you got to do. Just concentrate, catch the ball first, let the ball all the way to your hands. When you touch it, squeeze it, and then move forward with the ball. And all of them are more than capable. We've seen them multiple times in different games that these guys are more than capable of catching. It's about that to be more consistent. And I think that's just a confidence thing. That's honestly, like I said before, it's more of a mental thing than anything. You are in the NFL for a reason. So now you need to act like it and be consistent with catching the football.
A couple of more for former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Cecil, last week you brought up something really interesting when it came to Brian Thomas Jr. Last year in Doug Peterson and Press Taylor's offense, maybe not as much across the middle, more seam routes on the outside, more post patterns. He wasn't really asked to do a lot of stuff where the linebackers and the safeties live. This year, obviously, in Liam Cohen's offense, he is. If you're Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski, the offensive coordinator, did you take the bye week to maybe reassess that and not have BTJ going across the middle as often?
I think so. I think your job as a coach is to put your players in the best position to succeed, right? So if you look at him in college, he's averaged, 23-point-something yards a catch going down the field. Last year, what was he doing going down the field? So I think you need to find ways to utilize him in a way that best fits his skill set, right? And then you can help develop the other parts of the game that we noticed this year that he may not be as strong at, right? But to get him going, you got to do what he does well and do it often, and then add the other things to it. He's only year 2. I think he's 22 years old now. I know he's under 23 for sure. He's a special talent. He just needs to build that confidence back up. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little different route tree for BTJ moving forward.
I mean, is that something that can be corrected? I mean, linebackers aren't going to get any smaller, right? Safeties aren't going to get any smaller. They're going to be there his entire career going across the middle. Is that something that you can improve on over time?
Yeah, it's just a courage thing and a confidence thing. I just think it's I keep saying it and I'm kind of repeating myself, it's very mental because he's done it before and he can do it well. Now he's probably better at or more comfortable at not going in that direction, or having to face that, or having to concentrate in that manner when there's somebody about to knock your head off. And like I said, you have to change the route tree a tad bit, but for him to reach that top 5 level that I think he can get to, that next step of being one of the top tier receivers in the league, he needs to be able to develop that side of the game and focus and catch the ball over the middle of the field. If he develops that, he can be extremely, extremely special, one of the top 5 guys in the game. But he can be very effective like he was last year, kind of staying on the outside. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of can the OC, can Liam Cohen find ways to help him in that route tree in the passing game and really get going, right? And then maybe limit the times he does go over the middle or has to see something like that. So it's definitely that thing you can correct. It's going to take a little time.
You know, as we begin to wrap up, the crazy thing this week is like every wide receiver the Jaguars have has been limited in practice with some sort of nagging injury. Now, I would imagine most of them will play. You combine that with the drops, the trade deadline next Tuesday. Do the Jaguars need to test the waters and see if they can bring in another wide receiver at the deadline?
You know, that's a tough one. first of all, I was reading something that talked about getting rid of BTJ. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that.
No. Yeah, and Liam Cohen said that was a bunch of bunk earlier this week. I don't even know where that report came from.
That's craziness, right? He's one of the most special guys in the league. It's only his second year, not even a full second year yet. Like these last 10 games, he can really improve. So I would definitely take calls. I would definitely be interested. I would definitely call some people to see who's available, who's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like your running game has to get going. Travis, Tootin, these guys have to get going in the running game, whatever scheme it is, however they want to do it. They got to get going to help open up things down the field, take that pressure off the receivers, and that can really get the offense going for sure.
And the big thing for the Jaguars, don't fall behind by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. I mean, they've fallen behind by 2 scores in the last 2 games, and that kind of throws the game plan out the window. So I want to end with a quick thought on the Texans. Final Jaguar thought defensively. They got to affect Geno Smith on Sunday. Geno Smith will throw you the football if you affect him. The problem is they just have not gotten a lot of pressure. Trayvon Walker is essentially playing with one hand. Hopefully he's a little healthier now after the bye. Look, Hines Allen, there's 251 players in the NFL, Cecil, with at least 1 sack. Joshua Hines Allen is not among them. He has half a sack. I mean, you got to get to Geno Smith on Sunday, correct?
That's probably the biggest thing for the defensive side of the ball. I think that's probably what they're going to emphasize all week, what they have been emphasizing all week, getting pressure on Geno, and then honestly getting that defensive line going. Like if you get pressure on the quarterback, doesn't matter who the quarterback is, you make that pocket smaller, make them uncomfortable, they'll throw you some passes or they'll hold on to the ball, right? But Geno's habit is he'll give you a chance. He'll give you a chance down the field. So you get that pressure on them, they'll start seeing ghosts a little bit. I'm gonna start throwing in the air passes. You'll have a chance to get a couple turnovers this week, but it's really gonna start up front with that D-line getting pressure.
All right, leave us with this. You're also a former Houston Texan. We got the Cecil Shorts Bowl Part 2 next week already when Jacksonville heads out to Houston. A big opportunity for the Texans coming off that 49ers game. They get the Broncos on Sunday, and then they get Jacksonville next week. Houston could either be right back in the thick of this or could be all but done over the next 2-week period.
Yeah. Houston really believes in themselves. They really, really, truly believe they're not too far out. They just got to tighten some things up. So if they come, I think it's a home game this week versus the Broncos. If they can win this game this week, they're right back at 4-4 and right in the middle of the AFC South race, right? So this next game for them is going to be huge. And then Jacksonville, you might be sitting at 5-3 Jacksonville versus 4-4 Houston Texans in a big-time AFC South matchup. AFC matchup, honestly, to really push for that playoff race.
And they're both chasing Indianapolis. Quickly, I lied. Final thought now. Indianapolis is 7-1. Look, you can't win 7 out of 8 in the NFL if you're not a good football team. But I will say Indianapolis has benefited from a pretty terrible schedule. And I think beginning Sunday in Pittsburgh, they still have to go to Kansas City. They have to go to Seattle. They have to go to Houston and Jacksonville. We're going to find out pretty quick about the Colts if they're really for real or not.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot over the next 4 or 5, maybe even 6 weeks about how good they are, how good Indiana Jones is. I'll be honest with you, though. They're running the football so well. Like Jonathan Taylor and their offensive line is killing the game right now. And they can continue to do that. That makes a lot of things a lot easier on Daniel Jones and that defense. So they're playing mistake-free football. And then, honestly, when you're winning, when you're 7-1, you're riding confidence pretty high. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to learn a lot about them the next few weeks against some really good teams, against some tough division opponents. And it's going to be a real interesting in the AFC South, who people thought the AFC South wasn't that serious. And I'm hoping that can change some people's minds of that once the Jags and the Colts and the Texans start playing really, really good ball.
Yeah, the Titans are hot garbage, but the other 3 teams are pretty good in the AFC South, and it'll be interesting to see what happens over the coming weeks. Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts, you get him every week here on Hacker After Dark. Cecil, thank you for the time as always. We'll preview Houston and Jacksonville next week.
Hey, thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
After a bye and a breather, the Jags get ready to rock the desert. It's blackjack, blitzes, and big plays as they roll the dice against the Raiders. Find out who's all in. It's a full house of football. Viva La Jaguars. Sunday at 4 on the home of the Jags, 1010 XL.
Thank you very much.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com. Florida Gators football on 1010XL is driven by Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. And the law firm of Farah and Farah. Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
Hicken here. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139, plus a free haul, and take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Early detection saves lives. This month, join Ackerman Cancer Center to go light blue and take action with prostate screening and their expert guidance. Book your screening consult and experience the Ackerman Advantage at ackermancancercenter.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Cooler weather right around the corner. So are you ready to float happy in the pool? Listen up. This month, Surfside Pools offering 10% on new pool heaters or heater replacements and installation. That's right. Now is the time to upgrade your pool heating system and extend that swimming season for months of extra enjoyment. Only from Surfside Pools, the trusted name for expert pool service. Family owned and operated. Call 246-2666 or visit surfsidepool.net.
License number CPC 044080.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida, Georgia, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Saturday, 3:30. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, the final cocktail party in Jacksonville for a couple of years, right? Stadium of the future being built. It will go to Atlanta in 2026, Tampa in 2027, before presumably coming back here to Jacksonville in 2028. For the Georgia Bulldogs, they control their own destiny for a college football playoff. And for the Florida Gators, well, it's the first game after the firing of Billy Napier. Let's talk about all of it with one of our favorites, Connor O'Gara. Saturday Down South is where you find his terrific work, and Connor's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Connor, how you doing, man?
Doing well, glad to be joining you amidst these very interesting circumstances that, look, I think a lot of people would have predicted, Billy Napier's going to get fired this year, but the first game of the post-Billy Napier era coming in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, that kind of feels like a defining way to describe this Florida season in 2025.
Yeah, no doubt. And ironically enough, you forget that Florida actually won a game their last time out. You forget they actually beat Mississippi State heading into this contest. Like you said, Connor, it's the first game since Billy Napier's dismissal. And as you can imagine, all the talk here, I say it's LKS. It's Lane Kiffin syndrome, man. That's all any Gator fan wants to talk about. Before we talk about the LSU opening and how that might affect things, just your overall thoughts on Florida as a job and how appealing it might be to either Kiffin or whomever else the candidates would be.
I still think it's really appealing to know that Florida is not working against the facility issues that previous head coaches have said has held them back. I think you can look at all the in-state talent, even in an era in which we're kind of getting away from the importance of high school recruiting, and still think that's an asset. I still think you can look at a game that I was at a few weeks ago against Texas and watch a Florida team that knew it wasn't going to the college football playoff, knew it wasn't competing for an SEC championship, still have that type of atmosphere that can will you to a top 10 victory. I think those things matter, and I still think that it's a place where you can win national championships. Now, it's also a place in which obviously you haven't had a coach get to year 5 in the post-Urban Meyer era, and there's clearly a national championship standard that has been held against coaches that have not achieved that level of success. And so what does that mean if you're an incoming coach? Is it a place where coaches go to die? It's been that for the vast majority of the last, post-Spurrier era, but it's still a place in which you can have a ton of success, and that's going to be attractive. It's going to covet some big-time names, and Florida fans right now have basically said it's Lane Kiffin or bust. Is it really Lane Kiffin or bust? We're going to find out, but I do think that this search is going to have probably a wide variety of twists and turns.
You mentioned Lane Kiffin. That's who everybody around here, Connor, wants, as you can imagine. Then all of a sudden, Brian Kelly is shown the door in Baton Rouge on Sunday, fake accent and all. He is out of the LSU job. How much does that complicate what Florida fans want to ultimately happen with Lane Kiffin coming to Gainesville?
Yeah, it definitely does. You can say, well, Lane Kiffin, he's got the Florida ties. He spent that time at FAU. He'd like to be as close to the water as possible. I don't really know if that's going to make or break how he feels about the Florida job versus the LSU job, or if that's the case for any other candidate. I would say the LSU job has slightly more working in its favor than the Florida job. Maybe that's a controversial opinion. I realize that Florida still, when it comes to the high school talent, still has LSU outkicked. But I still think that when you've seen that Brian Kelly's the first coach in 30 years to leave LSU without a national championship, that's probably working in your favor more so than the stat that I just brought up about the coaches in the post-Urban Meyer era. And so I would still look at that and go, well, if I'm a potential coach on the move, where would be one of the toughest places in college football to turn down? Like if I'm at my alma mater, like a lot of these candidates are, maybe a Brent Key, a Jeff Brom, a Kenny Dillingham, a Clark Lee, would it be, oh man, I can't take any job in college football, or would LSU have to be the one that I would listen to? Because that's what I think is going to be so fascinating to follow with both of these searches, is if they can really sell this vision of winning a national championship and it's good enough to leave a place where they obviously call home.
Connor, when it comes to Florida, we know about the Lane Kiffin phenomenon. You mentioned it's Lane Kiffin or bust. It appears like that on the surface, although I think as the further we get along in this thing, more names will begin to come to the surface as well. And one of those is Eli Drinkowitz. I think Florida fans, some of them anyway, have begun to at least consider the idea that Kiffin won't come and Eli Drinkowitz may be a backup choice. What would your thoughts be on him?
I'd be more okay with it than a lot of Florida fans would be. I mean, this is someone that is 27-7 since the start of 2023. He's got 2 home losses since the start of 2023. He has also done something very well that Billy Napier has not, and that is recruit in the portal. Their portal haul for this season is why they are at this place still with playoff life, albeit with the Bo Perbula injury. And they would have obviously been a much better spot if they had been able to win at Vandy. But still, this is a guy that's had consecutive double-digit win seasons. And you can say, well, that's not good enough at Florida. It wasn't good enough for Dan Mullen. The question is, well, if you added a little more gasoline to that fire, which Eli Drinkwitz would have at Florida compared to Mizzou, then all of a sudden are we talking about 11 win seasons and a guy that, can get under your skin and isn't afraid to kind of ruffle some feathers in the way that Spurrier was. Everybody seems to be saying you got to get back to Spurrier. Kiffin's your path to do that. Well, Drink isn't necessarily Steve Spurrier 2.0 in terms of swag, but he's got some of that to him. And you kind of need that chip on your shoulder if you're going to be in that job. Urban had it too, just in a different sort of way. So I realize it would not be Lane Kiffin. I'm not saying he's as good of a candidate as Lane Kiffin, but I think Florida could do a whole lot worse than Eli Drinkwitz.
Connor O'Gara, SaturdayDownSouth.com. Connor, if I get Kiffin and Drinkwitz, if I give you the field, I'm going to be pretty confident that I'm going to have the next Gator coach. But for the sake of the argument, let's say it's neither Kiffin nor Drinkwitz. I'm a huge fan of Brent Key. I don't know why he's not being talked about more here. I do agree that it might be hard to get him away from his alma mater. Outside of Kiffin and Drinkwitz, where else do you think Florida would turn?
I think Jedd Fisch would be a place that they would turn. I think that having the Florida ties, obviously being a grad assistant during the Spurrier era, someone that is now on to his second power conference head coaching job, I think he would have a lot of appeal. And if alignment is everything in this day and age, you don't necessarily have to sell that vision. That's somebody that has a background as an offensive play caller that would check a lot of boxes for Florida. The box that he wouldn't check, though, is the program builder. The rotating door of coaches. You can't necessarily look at Jedd Fisch and say that automatically stops when this is someone who's had one job longer than 3 years since 2007, I believe is the stat. And, this is someone that has not necessarily been, or he hasn't had a job last longer than 3 years since 2007. That's what it was. This is not someone that has been at like a 6-7 year type of head coach. And so if we're talking about long-term and how important this hire is, he might do some things early on that are going to help you, but I don't know if it does things in the long term. So I think he could be a place that they could go, but I agree. I think Brent Key would make a ton of sense. And like Neil Blackman suggested that he was at the top of Scott Strickland's list, this ongoing list that you think that an athletic director like Strickland has going, and that Brent Key would really make a lot of sense, especially with how well he's performed against Kirby Smart. And I had Florida fans that like pushed back on that. I'm going, what are you looking at? Like Brent Key's a tremendous coach. They're undefeated right now and set up really well to have a long run. But maybe the question is going to be, can they get a playoff bound coach like a Brent Key, like a Lane Kiffin, if those two coaches are indeed going to the college football playoff this year? So again, lots of twists and turns it feels like we have ahead with this vacancy.
We'll get to the game in a moment. Final moments with Connor O'Gara. Understanding the contract issue out there could be a hindrance both for or against the university. But what about Lincoln Riley? Do you get the sense Lincoln Riley might throw his name into the hat at either LSU or Florida?
Why? I mean, why? At this point, I don't think he would have the type of pull to get those jobs. I think if he's leaving USC, anyone should look at that and go, what? Why would you want to sign up for that experience? To me, like, I think he would be more likely to go to try and test the waters at the NFL level if he were going to be leaving USC. Maybe he's going to throw his name into the ring and he's going to try and see how much do they love me here at USC, even though they basically gave me a blank check. They gave me a house with 50 bathrooms, and they basically told me that you're our guy and we're never going to back down from you. And oh, by the way, he's been disappointing. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. He's been disappointing so far. I don't think he would make sense for either one of those jobs, much like I don't think James Franklin would make sense for either one of those jobs. If you're talking about a rebuild, that's a different story. But those two programs, they want to win national championships, and Lincoln Riley's not going to be the guy to get them there.
As far as the cocktail party on Saturday, Georgia controls their own destiny for the playoff. It's obviously Florida's first game since Billy Napier was fired. What kind of game do you see on Saturday here in Jacksonville?
Close, competitive, down to the wire. Beware of interim coach energy. Billy Gonzalez, the interim coach for Florida, they've got a first-time play caller in Ryan O'Hara, And yes, I do love the last name and the similarities to mine. But this is someone that if they pull off a UCLA in this one, nobody should be stunned. And Vegas obviously isn't saying that it would be stunned because the spread on this game is, Georgia minus 7.5 or whatever it was last I checked. This is a really interesting spot for Florida, who has had 2 years of hearing about Billy Napier on the hot seat. And what does it look like all of a sudden? Yes, without their offensive play caller, but without that burden and knowing that they can just play spoiler in this game against Georgia, where last year this was a good competitive football game that Georgia needed to fight to be able to win tooth and nail against Aiden Warner, the Yale transfer post DJ Lagway injury. And he went down when Florida had a lead in this game and Carson Beck couldn't stop throwing interceptions. So I do think that Georgia is ultimately going to find a way to win. Gunnar Stockton has shown that he can make these plays down the stretch when Georgia is facing a deficit. But I think it's going to be a good, close 60-minute game in which we're reminded interim coaches, man, they're playing with house money, and they are more than capable of playing in competitive football games.
Last week over in Tallahassee, Connor, Mike Norvell got the dreaded vote of confidence, at least for the end of the year. I read that and saying, well, we don't have $55 million yet. Talk to us in 6 weeks. I still think Norvell's probably in trouble, barring a really good second half of the year. They got to be careful on Saturday. Wake Forest is 5-2. What's your thought on Norvell's future there at the Seminoles?
Yeah, Ryan, I agree with you. I think that he'll be done at season's end. I think it's just a way to try and say, all right, we're going to give you, a leash to see how this goes and try and figure things out down the stretch here. And you're not done yet. But at the same time, I mean, that support is also going to ramp up if indeed they continue to just fall apart in ACC play. And that almost felt like a cry to the Florida State boosters, to those who want to finance such a thing of, hey, look, we're not really in a position where we want to make this move right now. We're not going to do what Penn State did. We're not going to do what LSU did. And I realize the vote of confidence came before LSU, but still, I do think this is going to happen at the end of the regular season. They just can't find a way to be able to win these very winnable games. And they're sitting right there. And I know that you can say, oh, we're so close, but you hear that over at Auburn, too, with Hugh Freeze. All of a sudden, like, oh, you win one game. Is that going to really show you that you're the guy long term? No, that's just not the way that these things typically work. I think that the hay is kind of in the barn with that one. It's just a matter of time, and it's going to be a matter of getting that funding by the end of the regular season.
Connor, final question. Florida, LSU, Penn State, Arkansas, Virginia Tech are already open. You think Florida State's going to come open? I do, too. I think Auburn, Kentucky as well. I mean, this is nuts, right? Is this just the world we live in college football now, that this many coaching changes can happen in one season?
Yes, and I'm old enough to remember when people last year were incorrectly saying that rev sharing was going to prevent teams from paying big buyouts and firing head coaches. And, because we didn't have an 8-figure buyout that was paid, it was Ryan Walters and Neil Brown got the two most expensive buyouts in college football, and they weren't even $10 million. And now you're looking up at these buyouts, and if it's not at least $15 million, you're kind of feeling like it's a deal. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with all of this. Yeah, it was always going to be a crazy coaching carousel. And you talk to people before the season in the business and around the business, and there was a consensus feeling of, man, there are going to be a lot of jobs available for the latter half of the decade because, yes, it takes a lot of money to field a roster, but you're also losing so much money if you have empty stands. And there is so much emphasis now on football to do the heavy lifting. And so leashes are shorter than ever. It was always going to be like this. And the question is whether or not these candidates that they're going to be getting, with all these big buyouts being paid, are going to satisfy the fan base. And it does feel like we're at a very weird place in college football right now, where there aren't good enough big time candidates to be able to satisfy the high price that's being paid to hire and fire these coaches.
Connor, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, man, Saturday Down South and where they can find your work.
Yeah, appreciate that. SaturdayDownSouth.com. We'll have a ton of coverage, cocktail party related leading up to it, obviously recapping it. Saturday Down South podcast. Just had our mutual friend Chris Doring on. That episode will drop Wednesday afternoon. We'll talk all things cocktail party as well, the future of Florida with him. So, yeah, a lot of great stuff coming down the pipeline. I always tell people you'd rather, spend an afternoon just, clicking around a free website related to all things college football than you would working. So SaturdayDownSouth.com is the best place to do that.
He's one of our favorites, Connor O'Gara of Saturday Down South. Connor, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk again soon, pal.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, man.
And thank you to Benjamin Wolk of Dogs 247 for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark to give the Georgia perspective of the game tomorrow. Again, Georgia in prime position for another college football playoff appearance. They sit 6-1 on the year, certainly controlling their own destiny. Probably a chance they could even lose a game and still find their way in, although that might complicate things a little bit. Bottom line, if Georgia wins the rest of their games, they will no doubt be in the college football playoff. It'll be interesting tomorrow, again, to see how Florida comes out to play with interim coach Billy Gonzales. But again, as I've said all week, I just find it hard to believe that amidst everything that's gone on with the Florida football program in the last 2 weeks, that they will be able to find a way to beat Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. So we certainly spent a ton of time on that game, and then obviously a ton of time on the Jaguars and the Raiders as well. I will take Las Vegas to win. I have not felt good about this game all week. Give me the Raiders. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll be glad, and I will admit I'm wrong, and I will be fired up for a 5-3 Jacksonville Jaguar football team. Well, again, that will just about do it on a Friday evening. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, Benjamin Wolk of Dogs 247. Thank you to Connor O'Gara of Saturday Down South for joining us. We went out to Las Vegas, got the Raiders' thoughts on this game on Sunday with Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And then back in hour number 1, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Always enjoy Cecil talking with us here on Hacker After Dark. Again, give me the Raiders over the Jaguars. Give me Florida State over Wake Forest. And I will take Georgia to defeat Florida at the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Denmark, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Friday evening with us and your entire week with us here on Hacker After Dark. As we always tell you, and we cannot possibly tell you enough how much we absolutely appreciate it. As we do every show, signing off before the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, we will rewind the clock back to 1980 and send you into the weekend with the great Larry Munson on the call of Run, Lindsey, Run. 45 years ago down at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. What a moment it was in this series. Again, the final game here for Florida, Georgia, at least until 2028. So hope you guys enjoy all the football action this weekend. I will be back with you Sunday evening, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Raiders go final for the 5th quarter in what should be a very fun weekend football-wise here in Northeast.